Good afternoon, everybody. At least it's afternoon here on the east coast of the USA. It's just turned noon. I don't know where the morning has gone. It's just been a complete flurry and flutter of activity over here at my house. Ever since I got back from Oregon, where we had some makeup teaching dates early December, it just seems like it's been going and going and going at warp speed. So I thought I would take some time this afternoon and squeeze in an hour of some Quilt-Cam time, some talking about projects, some finding out what's going on with you. If you are new joining me here for Quilt-Cam Live, if this is your first time, via Facebook is where we run this, I want to welcome you. Quilt-Cam is something that has to be squozen in between everything else that happens in our crazy busy lives. So it doesn't happen on a regular basis. In fact, somebody pointed out to me that it had been 2 months since our last Quilt-Cam, and would I please work one in? And oh, I so apologize. We did have one scheduled for November, but my father-in-law passed away. And I got notice the morning of that Quilt-Cam day that he had passed, and then the family was in a flurry to get from North Carolina to Idaho where his services were, and this was the week before Thanksgiving. So you can just imagine how nutso it is, but I'm happy to be here. I'm also happy to report that book manuscript has been turned in. I beat my deadline by 2 weeks, so now I can relax and enjoy the holidays. Hello to everybody joining. I see the hearts and the thumbs up flying. So glad that you're joining in. I will be checking for your comments as soon as Quilt-Cam is over, because the laptop is quite a ways away from me so that you get the whole view of my desktop. And with these eyes, I can't see a single thing that's going on. What else is going on in my world? Besides the fact that I'm going up to the cabin this afternoon, I'm going to stop at the dentist on my way and hopefully get this implant checked off the list, that it is finally, the bone graft has healed enough to get that crown taken care of. All I want for Christmas is my bicuspid back. Actually, I'd really like to start 2018 teaching year with a full set of teeth and not try to hide my smile. So what's going on in your world? If you want to, let me know and share a photo. This video will be uploaded to my YouTube channel after we are done here, and it will be embedded in tomorrow's blog post. So even after this goes down the Facebook news feed and it isn't able to be found anymore, we'll still have it archived for you to watch later if you want to. Things that I've finished. Oh, I forgot to give you that email address. quiltville@gmail.com. Send pictures, whatever you've got going on. If you're working on this year's On Ringo Lake mystery quilt and you want to share a photo, you've got a couple of different ways to do that. For those who don't have a blog or a Pinterest or a Flickr or an Instagram, you can email me a photo and I'll be happy to share it, or you can post it in the comments here and I'll be happy to see that when we're done. I have a finish. I have a finish that was just finished this morning. Finally. Do you remember these blocks? I started these blocks way back in like April. I have to get this right way up because the light squares in the alternate block go north and south. Can you see? Yeah, it's just off the machine. Batting is still on the edge. In fact, this morning, in this morning's blog post, I shared how I trim up the setting triangles, leaving a 1/4 inch beyond the point of each block at the edge of the quilt, so that I have enough seam allowance to have the inner binding just nicely hit where it should, and the whole border goes on very, very straight without any warping or wobbling or things like that, and then I don't end up with the points of my blocks floating here and not floating there. So I do trim up especially my on-point quilts before adding border, so you'll want to check this morning's blog post for that. This quilt started, I said back in April. It's almost too hot to be under this quilt. I'm going to move it over here. And I was busy in Texas teaching at a couple of retreats, sewing blocks, and made over half of the required blocks for this quilt like this, which looks nice, kind of like a flower by itself. But this rectangle unit was upside down. The black needs to go to the outside of this block in order to make this design where it connects to the alternate blocks to make these big oval shapes. So guess who still has 23 or 24 of these wrong way blocks after using, what, 36 of them? How many did I use? 25? Did I do 25 in the baby quilt? I'll have to check. My nephew Henry was born a couple weeks ago, and I gifted the baby quilt made with the wrong way blocks. We're going to call him Wrong Way Henry. At a family reunion at the end of July, but I still have all of these. So I'm thinking that I may need to do the O. Henry version again with these to use these up, and then I would have both. So I could show this is what happens if you put this the dark rectangle to the middle, and this is what happens when you put the dark rectangle to the outside. So this is in the pile to go to the cabin. At first I thought I might piece these into the backing of this other quilt, but you know, if they can be to the front of another quilt, wouldn't that be better? So I think that's what I will do. The binding is cut and ready to sew, and I'll be taking that up with me this afternoon. After the dentist, when I head up to the cabin, my son Jason is coming up from South Carolina. He has to work Christmas Eve and December 26th, and it's a 4-hour drive to the cabin, so he can't come up just for Christmas. So he's going to come up tonight, and he's off Thursday and Friday, so he will have tonight and Thursday and Friday, and then he'll head home because he works on Saturday. So what else? Oh, you guys, have you gone through your UFOs? It's one of those things that I tend to do right at the end of the year. Finish up a project, let's pull out something, let's see what got started that didn't get finished. I am taking you back, way back, think way back. In fact, I had to write this down on this yellow sticky so I would remember. Dakota Farmer blocks from my November, December 2013 Addicted to Scraps column. So when people say, you don't have UFOs, do you? Yes, I do. So this one, it's just a simple little traditional star block, nothing special about it, except all of the half square triangles are bonus units from other projects. In this case, all of these red and neutral half square triangles came from a Starstruck quilt that I made, and you can find the free pattern for that one on my blog. Anytime that there is a 2.5 inch square that you're doing sew the diagonal and fold that corner up, you can get a 1.5 inch finished triangle from behind that stitch and flip corner. And I always do that if the square is at least 2.5 inches big. The ones that are 2 inches, they get pretty tiny, so I tend to save those for paper piecing and things like that. But I have buckets of bonus triangles, and I have found my downfall. I like this one with the black. This is the one that we're going to work with the purples and the blacks. I'll tell you what the downfall is. The downfall is not doing the drawing of the diagonal lines or whatever it is. The downfall is the pressing and de-dog earing. These are already the size that they need to be, and they just need to be pressed toward the purple and have their dog ears cut off. Now some of them may need some squaring up, so I brought my little handy dandy tool with me, because this whole bucket, in fact, you know, Purple Project gets the purple bucket, is going up to the cabin because I need a project up there. But if you have bonus triangles that you've sewn and you can see that there's a seam line on there, sometimes things just don't turn out the right size. This is Janet Plotkin's triangle booty ruler, and it just says the booty ruler on here, but I'm going to tell you something. Do not Google booty ruler, because you're going to end up on a website you don't want to be on. So I call it the triangle booty ruler, so that there is no mistaking what kind of booty this is. Yeah, you're laughing, aren't you? I know you are. Just my computer went, ah, my Norton went, okay. This is marked in finished size, and you can get finished half square triangles from a 1/2 inch all the way up to 4 inches. This is the common sizes on this for bonus triangles. And it also works for those who like to purposely sew big and sliver trim down. I've got my seam line on the bonus triangle, and what I'm going to do is just slide the 1.5 inch line down until it touches the seam line. So the line I'm measuring by actually goes just right above the seam line. If this is the seam line, the line of the ruler hits right above. Why? Because we have to allow for the turn of the cloth. Okay, and I can see on this one that I'm just a smidge off because, you know, we're hand guiding when we're sewing. We're not perfect all the time. So I can just plop this down, trim 2 sides, and it's almost nothing. I mean, it took off just barely some little sliver dust here. And then with scissors, before I even press, I nip off these dog ears at a right angle. And then this one's ready to press. And I did put my iron right here. Got to turn it on though. I'll just finger press this one right now. But the nice thing is because you've trimmed before you press, you only have to use the ruler in one position, up and back, and you don't have to trim 4 sides of a ruler. There are other rulers on the market, but none of them are this size, this shape, which makes it really easy when putting on top of a small unit. I love the size of this unit. So you'll find these goodies in the Quiltville store. We've got a fairly ample supply right now, and I've got another 200 that are on their way. So if you're still looking for something as a treat for yourself, I can't promise that these will arrive before Christmas because I'm leaving this afternoon, but they can be your New Year's present. So check that out. So that's my job for the cabin this coming week. And while we're here, I am plopping triangles down. And they're fairly good. There's just a few threads here and there, but I know that the blocks will turn out better in the block if I just, you know, it's just a little bit. So while we're here, I may be just trimming a whole handful of these so that I can make a star. Let's hold that star up again. Where did it go? So each one takes 12. Okay, there's 8 star points in 4 corners. Each one takes 12, and then 4 squares in the center, and I just went through my squares box and pulled just a handful of random purples, and these will easily be a project that can travel with me because I'll have, you know, just baggie of triangles, handful of purple squares, and I'll be able to work on these on the road this coming year. That's my plan. And I've got, my goodness, these are 4 and 9 blocks, so there's 5 4 patches in this 9 patch. And this is going to be the alternate block to this one. It'll be fun? I think so. I think it's going to make a really kind of a neat snowball effect. And the fun thing is that the seams where these star points go hit in between the seams on nothing to line up. Things will kind of overlap each other. I love that. So we've got oodles and bundles, all of these. Of course, I must have been thinking king size because how many of these are done? I don't know, but that's my plan. So your job is to look at your UFOs, and that's after you finish your On Ringo Lake mystery, of course, and see what you can pull out and fall in love with again. Chances are you're in love with them all, but we get so many of them going that we're just kind of meh. But we've got to decide to turn these into projects and not just let them sit. I think this is going to be really, really fun. So what I'm going to do right now is tune into my email. Did you send me an email? quiltville@gmail.com. Let's see who's tuning in with us today. I can get here. Here's Mary. She says, catching up with Quilt-Cam. I have more parts ready to stitch during Quilt-Cam. Catching up for Friday. My grandchildren gifts aren't going to be shown. Your grandchildren watch you on Facebook Live. Okay, they got to beat the mailman today. So this is Mary in Walla Walla, Washington. I always love saying that, Walla Walla, Washington. And she's got, here's her, I almost said Aliatare, On Ringo Lake quilt. Parts there. We've got part 5 coming out on Friday. So that'll be really, really exciting. Great to hear from you, Mary. I'm wishing you a very, very Merry Christmas. Here's one from Trina who says, I don't have any quilt holders here today, but I wanted to share my midnight flight that I finally got finished from your May visit here. I love this quilt. Thanks for all you do. She didn't say, where did I teach this in May? I don't remember. Oh, Trina. Oh, that's gorgeous. So here is her midnight flight quilt, and that's from More Adventures with Leaders and Enders. And all books are on sale in the Quiltville store. I'm really, really excited about this new manuscript that we just finally got turned in. We're putting it on front burner, and the book, barring anything that could happen, anything that can go wrong, that usually will go wrong, should be released late next fall. Okay. Wonderful, Trina. That is absolutely gorgeous. I love designs that look like they've got curves in them. Same thing with this one. I loved how it looked like ovals, not circles, but ovals. That was fun. Here's one that says, hey, from Minnesota, working on Ringo Lake in Chile, Minnesota. I'm using your colors, but going with the deepest shades of each color. I have mystery quilts on every bed at the cabin, and now I'm working on getting a version with fall to winter colors for each bed. Thanks so much for sharing all of your talents with us. And that's from Jackie. So Jackie's sending us a Merry, Merry Christmas. Snowy, cold, wintry Minnesota. I was born in Minneapolis in January of 1962. It was 40 below. I won't go back during the winter. No, 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 no. Mona Dickey says, Holy Toledo. She says, watching Quilt-Cam from Morris, Minnesota. So we've got the Minnesota contingency tuning in today. Have yards and yards of binding ready to attach to Holy Toledo from your book, Scraps and Shirt Tails 2. And that one is also on deep discounts in the Quiltville store. Added a few blocks to make it queen size. My son is anxiously waiting for his quilt. And she's got, oh, that's gorgeous picture. I love it. Did you have a furry baby there too? Oh, that's your binding. I thought maybe the binding was the cat. Okay, so here's her Holy Toledo from Scraps and Shirt Tails 2. It uses triangles in 2 sizes, so that I love 2-inch finished triangles, and you pair those up with 4-inch finished triangles, and you've got all kinds of possibilities. Let's see if I can do a little biggie size on this. Will it turn? It will. And I can show you, take a look at her border on that. Isn't that pretty? That's Holy Toledo from Scraps and Shirt Tails 2. Merry, Merry Christmas to you, all my Minnesota peeps. I love that. You know, Minnesotans are hardy, and they love their summers. And once the weather is nice, they were outside, 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 all late spring, all through the summer, all through the fall, because the winters are long and they're very cold. Ginger says, a picture from my Christmas star quilt hanging behind our tree here in Vancouver, Washington. So Ginger is sending everybody out there in Quiltville land a Merry Christmas with, there's her feathered star, beautiful behind her very pretty tree. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay. We could keep doing that, but I need to trim up some triangles here. So pardon me. We will chat here. So one of the things, yep, this one just has they just have just a smidge, and then I'll just set them over here. I should have picked different ones so that I have enough for, I'm trying to have them all different in each block. There's just a smidge. Not much, just a few threads, and I'll take the dog ears off. One of the things that my mom and my stepdad do for Christmas that I love, 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 and I've loved it for years. Yeah, I mean, it's just almost nothing. My stepdad records old movies, like black and white movies or the colored musicals, a lot of Fred Astaire, a lot of Ginger Rogers or Bob Hope or whatever movies, and every year they send us about a dozen DVDs, and each DVD has 2 to 3 movies on it. And I spend my time at the cabin where we have no internet, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. I've got my old laptop hooked up to the TV that's mounted, my smart TV that's mounted on my wall with an HDMI cord. And because that old laptop has a CD player, I play old movies. And what I love about them, the ones that I've seen before, I don't even really have to watch. I can just listen while I sew. But I've watched so many really great old movies that are basically unknown by people my generation or younger. And they're fabulous. So I'm definitely love. Oh, that one doesn't even trimmed it all. Good job. Sounds like my phone is. Here's one that just needs dog ears off. Oh, dog ears are already off that one. Okay. So this is just going to be one of those jobs where I am going to trim up, press, and de-dog ear these triangles over the holidays because I want to see this into something. We might not even get to sewing today because I need 12 different ones, and I don't think there's that many different ones here. Okay, so I want to know in your email or in your message, what is the one thing that you have to cook for your family for Christmas? You know, we have this story that everybody knows at Thanksgiving time when my dad comes for Thanksgiving. He's old school, and Granny was Scottish English, and so the big thing for him was rutabagas and pearl onions in a cream sauce. Not my family's favorite, but when Dad comes to visit, that's what I end up making. Even if he's the only one that eats it, he gets pearl onions and rutabagas because that's what Christmas meals are or Thanksgiving meals are for him. Do you have something? My family absolutely goes nuts over the sweet potatoes that I make, the candied yams, sweet potatoes. They don't come from a can, they're real ones. And you can add pecans and brown sugar, and it uses a little bit of orange juice and some seasoning and some spices, and really cinnamony, nutmeggy good. I love roasted root vegetables, so you'll find those patterns, or not those patterns, those recipes under the recipes tab on the blog. But I want to know if there's something that makes Christmas for you, that your family has to absolutely have. I'm making a complete mess out of my table here. How many have I done? Can I stop now? Okay, here's one that this just did not work. This seam, maybe if I go this way. Sometimes those seams, even though it looks like it should come out the right size, if the seam goes a little bit like this or a little bit like this, it's not going to press square. So sometimes you got to adjust where you trim. Okay, so let's check in here. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Way to the top here. This one is from Linda Morris, who says, Ringo Lake and Quilt-Cam, I'm working on my brown and blue triangles today while I'm watching Quilt-Cam. Loved your colors this year, Bonnie, and I'm loving my first Bonnie Hunter mystery quilt. Thank you so much. And oh, there she is. She's got her little ironing pad out, just like I've got mine, and she's got Quilt-Cam going there right next to it. I hope that the clues have been not overwhelming for anyone. I didn't want to overwhelm anybody during the holidays. I just posted this morning. We had a few little, we'll call them little whinges come in. I can't keep up. My life is too busy. Why are you doing this during the holidays? And isn't there a better time of the year for you to do this? And that's usually about the time that I post to Facebook and Instagram on why we do the mysteries at this time of year. And I'll pull that up here in just a second, read that to you. I'm going to trim one more. We're going to slaughter these triangles one at a time. I love this triangle booty ruler. I mean, really, that's all. But it'll make a difference on these things that were just bonus anyway. They're just going to be so super cute. So what I wrote, and I'll read it to you, because it's going to be down the Facebook newsfeed, and if anybody finds this video later, you won't be able to find what I posted, and it'll be down the feed by tomorrow. So click on post. Sometimes Facebook doesn't want to open up. My phone, the computer is hardwired to our internet here, but the phone is just on Wi-Fi, and I'm in the basement. So this is what I wrote. Okay, this time of year, complaints always come in as to why I would be so crazy as to run a mystery during the holidays. I know it's busy. It's crazy. Many of you are traveling or having family and friends traveling to your house this weekend. Christmas Eve is only a few days away. Many of you are deep into choir rehearsals for Christmas programs and midnight services. Some of you are finishing up gifts, wrapping presents, baking up a storm, and your lives are full of the bustle and hustle of holiday hubbub. This week especially, I want to share once again, as I do every year, why mysteries are so important to me during the holidays. Though you may be busy, look around you. There are many quilters who are alone, and the holidays are difficult. Some are struggling with divorce or other heartbreaks. Some have moved in the past year away from family and friends. Some are struggling with devastating illness. or some are giving full-time care to elderly parents without much assistance. Some are spending Christmas alone because children and grandchildren do not live nearby and cannot travel. Those who are happily busy, we are so happy for you. For all the rest, this mystery is something I do with love for you at this difficult time of the year. And if it takes you all year or more to finally finish this quilt, all the better. We are here for you. We understand and are wishing you the merriest in whatever circumstances life finds you over the next while. So this is why we do the mystery at this time of year. It's not to add more stress to those who are already busy. It's to take care of those who are forgotten and lonely. And all you need to do to see this is to look around you within your own quilt community. And maybe there's somebody in your guild or your sewing bee or your church circle or whatever it is that circumstances might be a little bit more difficult than your own. So include them. You know, a fat quarter wrapped up with a bow and a Christmas card goes a long way, and you likely don't even need to hit the store to do it. Hit your stash, spread it around. So that's why. This is why we do the mystery this time of year. Of course, it also helps that I'm home during this time because there's a lot of work behind the scenes to do the posts, to do all the photos, to make the PDF copy, to link everything up, to be sure that things go live when they should, and to field all of the many questions that come with each clue that's released. And with a group as big as our Quiltville's Open Studio, which is what, 74,000 now or above, there's a lot of fielding behind the scenes that, oh, that was good, yeehaw, that nobody knows about. I have 2 moderators that both work full-time jobs. Irene is co-owner of a quilt shop in Kentucky. Angela works doing American Sign Language for the deaf in Arizona. We're in different time zones so that we can help deal with the things that come through Open Studio. But with full-time jobs and volunteer time, if things don't get answered or handled as quickly as you would like them to, let's show a little bit of the holiday spirit and just cut each other some slack this time. And just, you know, kindness goes a long way. So that's just a little bit of what's going on behind the scenes. There's just not much in this little trimmy pile at all, but I'm happy to be doing it. Just because these have sat in this bag for so long. So my new rule for myself is, when making bonus triangles, go ahead and sew them first, cut them apart, and then in batches. When you have 20, before going any further, take a break, press them and de-dog ear them, and save them in a bag or a container ready to go, instead of like this. There's hundreds. These are hundreds of triangles. So I'll use them if I don't have to do this. All right, back to where we are here. Annika says, Christmas food. I must have cooked ham with mustard and breadcrumbs and then give it in 5 minutes in the oven, served with applesauce. And my kids has to have Swedish meatballs and small sausages. And we also have to have herring, very tasty, and a Swedish dish called Jansson's frestelse, which also means Jansson's temptation. I probably did not pronounce that right. It is made with onion, potatoes, anchovies, and cream. All is mixed and put in the oven until the potatoes is soft and the cream has thickened a little bit. Very tasty. And she says, oh, now I got hungry. So that's from our Swedish friend Annika. So glad you could join in with us today. Ellen says, on Ringo Lake, saying hi from San Jose, California, where we had a little rain last night, but it's now clear and sunny. Here is a sampling of my On Ringo Lake parts. I am current on clues 1 to 4, and I am enjoying piecing and colors. Now waiting for Friday. Thanks for another great mystery quilt, and Merry Christmas. So she's got several of her parts here in this photo. It's always fun to see what fabrics people are pulling together. If you really want to see the wide variety, you need to stop by the blog for Monday, so that was 2 days ago, Mystery Monday link up post. We've got about 100 folks or more who have shared their progress photos of their units mixed with photos from their studio or things that they're doing and projects they're making for Christmas. You can really spend some wonderful time seeing what the other folks are doing. So hit up the blog and scroll back to Monday for that post. These are absolutely gorgeous. Just love them. Okay, so we've got another holiday food. I love to know about holiday food. And my tummy is rumbling. I haven't had lunch yet either. Last night was the last candle for Hanukkah. Potato latkes are essentials in my family, and I also love potato latkes. So that's wonderful. That sounds yummy. And then here's Christmas dinner from Jean Fletcher. Says stuffing with cranberries on the side. And she's in Lexington, Oregon. So she's got to have that. Mary says Christmas food, chocolate truffles. I think I mailed you some last year. Yeah, Mary, where are my truffles this year? They were delicious. I have some extended time since I'll be up at the cabin probably till a couple days after Christmas that I will start doing my baking and my cooking tomorrow. So on my way to the cabin, I'll be stopping at the grocery store and stocking up to make those things that my kids love. Lucy Badley says turkey, and it's in the subject line. So the subject line is bold. Turkey is the big thing for Lucy. And she also says, hi from Oxford, England. I've just sandwiched a 9-patch made from lots of leftovers. Thanks for all you do. I hope to start the mystery in the new year. Oh, that's so cute. I love those, Lucy. So it's just a simple 9-patch, but don't those simple 9-patch blocks just make you smile? I love them. I don't think that all blocks need to be curved piecing and rocket science and little itty bitty small triangles and diamonds and inset Y seams and all of that stuff. I love just putting fabric to fabric, and these would look great. Also, just this is a 6-inch block, so you've got 2-inch finished units. Set this with just a plain big 9-patch, and it would look really great too. So seeing Lucy's 9-patches made me think of that. Quilts don't have to be extravagant to be completely wonderful. Those are beautiful, Lucy. Have fun with those. And Merry Christmas to you. Happy Christmas. Mary Farley says, oh, she's working on her Perkiomen daydreams. It wants me to sign in to see the photo. It's spinning. We'll just show it this way. So there she is, working on her Perkiomen daydream blocks. This is a medallion style postage stamp quilt that is found in my book Scraps and Shirt Tales, and it has 10,000 1-inch squares in it, so you can check that out. Also on deep discount in the Quiltville store. Beautiful, Mary. I love your black and yellow and blue. Judy Trout says, my Winston Ways is finally ready to go to the Long Armor, and on Ringo Lake is coming along. Have a wonderful holiday season. And she's in Staunton, Virginia, so not too terribly far from where the cabin is. And here's her photo. So there's her Winston Ways. You can see it with the red checkerboard there. That's from More Adventures with Leaders and Enders. And then her on Ringo Lake units are right next to it. So she's plugging along on that. I love the cookie sheet idea. I use the cookie sheet all the time. It makes things really easy to handle and carry from the cutting table to the machine, or the machine to the ironing board, or where have you. This one is coming from a phone number. Oh, Christmas hugs from Minnesota. Hugs from Christy. She says, making Carolina Christmas as Leaders and Enders from Ringo Lake. You have pushed me out of my comfort zone, and I am successfully sewing on my great-grandma's sewing machine. So she says, Merry Christmas from Minnesota. Oh, look at that. Look at that. There's her great-grandma's featherweight. Isn't that wonderful? I think I kind of like this Wednesday at noon kind of thing. It makes me feel like I'm playing hooky, almost like going to the matinee movie in the middle of the week. Love that. Love that. Okay, how many do we have? We're going to start pressing these. I've got just this little pressing mat that was gifted to me. I love it. It's a board, and it's covered with batting and that shiny silver stuff, but it fits in my suitcase flat, so I can take it with me wherever I go. Wait a minute. One of these things is not like the others. This must belong to a different batch of stuff. But I need to trim. I just trim dog ears at a right angle before pressing. And usually I do a whole batch because then I don't have to put the scissors down in between. But these are going to be ready to go in these Dakota Farmer blocks. And then I'll be able to work on this up at the cabin. How is your, this year's, which goes all the way till July of 18, leader ender rail fence challenge coming? I'm on to my second direction of blocks. Remember the first row of blocks, the 4 patches face this way, and then on the other half of the blocks, the checkerboard, the 4 patches go the other way, so that when you turn the blocks, they make that checkerboard stair step. I'm getting there. I did quite a few blocks while putting this quilt together, and I can see myself doing quite a few when I get these blocks together. And we've got all the way until July to do that one. And your size is up to you. If you decide to do it bed runner size, table runner size, baby quilt or wall hanging size, it's up to you. And you can do any rail fence variation for this challenge. There's nothing to sign up for. There's nothing to make you accountable, really, other than you want to do it and you want to use your fabric and you build it on the side of other things. I'm going to have a mess of dog ears everywhere in just a little bit. Some of these purple fabrics I really love. It's like, oh, I haven't seen you in such a long time. See that purple? I like it. What I liked about these bonus triangles is they've all got the same black fabric as background. It's a black with a little cream polka dot. And I don't often make quilts with one background. So all of the stars, which went where, this black octagon is that polka dot fabric. So I thought it would be nice to have one common fabric all the way around the very scrappy star. So I'm really excited to pull this project forward. And of course, if I run out of bonus triangles and I need some more, it's really easy to pull 2-inch strips and use the essential triangle tool to make more, but I won't have any more of this purple polka dot fabric. So, all right. Boy, these have been in this baggie in the parts department underneath the cabinet for a long time. They need to become a quilt. And then I'll probably wonder, why did I wait so long? Because these are just, they're just wonderful. Okay. So this is probably the world's most boring Quilt-Cam ever because I'm not even sewing today, but I had to pull something out really quick. Okay, so we have, oh, right. Virginia Quilt Square. She says, you mentioned a while back that you were working on a Virginia Quilt Square and we would see it in a future publication. Can you give us a quick peek? Virginia Quilt Square. I think I can. In fact, because it's been released already, I can grab it off the wall. Hang on. I think this is the one that you're referring to. This one is called Grayson County, and it's in the most recent, I think it's volume 16, 100 blocks by 100 designers from Quiltmaker magazine. So you'll find the pattern for this block in that issue, but I have designs, big plans. I'd love to have this made into a barn quilt and put it on the either the side of the hubby's shed or at the end of the cabin. But I want it big. Isn't that fun? It's got an Ohio star in the center, and everything in this block came from Scrap User System sizes. I used 1.5-inch strips and 2.5-inch strips and 3.5-inch strips for this entire block. So it was, when making this block, it was really easy to pull my strips out of my Scrap User System. The center, that square was just pulled right out of the squares box. So no fat quarters were harmed in the making of this block. But this is the one that's based on Grayson County, Virginia. That's the county where the cabin is. So I think this is the one that you were talking about. It's a 12-inch block, but I really would like to make this into a full-size quilt too. So you know, so many ideas, so little time, just can't do it all. And then this one is from Karen Birch, who shares what she's working on today. She says, love Quilt-Cam while watching today and waiting for clue number 5. I'm working on this wonderful folded fabric wreath. Here's a picture. So she's folding up squares into triangles like prairie points, and she's attaching them to that wreath base right there. I love fabric crafts during the holidays. We've got just a few fabric-y things that come out for the holidays, both here at home and at the cabin. It's not a whole lot of decor happening, but I still love putting these things out. That is absolutely gorgeous. Love that. What a great use of Christmas fabrics. So my phone here has been beeping with messages as well. Oh, it is my sister. They started the family chain of Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. And when there are 8 siblings and spouses, it's just, yeah, I turn my text off on that because ping, 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 ping. Love you all, but not right now. So, no, I love it. I love having a big and boisterous family, even though that we are spread from one end of the country to the other, and we've got full siblings and half siblings and spouses and nieces and nephews and grandkids and great grandkids, and you know, it's just wonderful when we can get together. Annika says, I just wanted to show you how it turned out. It is from your free patterns. All that is left is the binding, and I'm planning to make that happen during the holidays. And so she's sharing, oh my goodness. So she's made pineapple blossom, and can you see what she's done with her bonus triangles there in the border? We've been talking about bonus triangles and squaring them up. You need this tool. You really need this tool. I love it. That border is just beautiful. I'm going to see if I can make this a little bigger so that you can see. All of the half square triangle units in that border, do you see the colored triangles are made of 2 fabrics? That happens automatically when you save the bonus triangles from behind your pineapple folded corner. It looks like you did so much work to make that happen, but it didn't. The quilting is gorgeous, and she's also sent, here's a picture of the main part of the block. So those bonus triangles come from behind the white triangles that you see on the quilt here. And you get 4 of them for every block that you do. So you make 25 times 4, you've got 100. You know, so it just goes really quickly. And you've already paid for that fabric, so just do it. Catherine says, Christmas Essentials and Rolling Stone. Christmas Essential is homemade mince pies with custard. Oh, that sounds great. And homemade sausage rolls. I am here in Ramsgate, Kent, United Kingdom, and working on a Rolling Stone quilt for number 2 granddaughter. One that at 15 doesn't not yet have a quilt. Bad nanny, she calls herself. Happy Christmas to you and your family. Oh, these are fun. She's going to love these. So this is the Rolling Stone, that's the flower version. See how that looks like a flower? It all depends on how you color your block. It can look completely different if you turn those rectangle units upside down the other way. And these also, which went where? Oh, yeah. This is also the flowery version right here in the plastic bag. I love project bags. I probably could supply a third world country with secondhand Ziploc bags. Okay, that's absolutely beautiful. Michelle says, I Spy Quilt. This is Michelle from Oregon, and I'm working on your I Spy Quilt for my newest grandson. Thanks for all you do for us quilters. Love watching you on Quilt-Cam and wishing your family a very Merry Christmas. Oh, that is so cute. Oh, that's wonderful. So this is my I Spy a 4-patch pattern. It was one of the free patterns, the earliest free patterns uploaded to my website, because we were gifted all of this fabric from the Quilters Guild that I was the charity quilt person for. And those novelty fabrics are super cute, cut into 4.5-inch squares and paired up with those 4 patches, and it just takes on a life of its own. So you can see several of those really, really fun novelty fabrics in there. It's a great way to use up the scraps, to use up those novelty prints, and make some really fun quilts for kids. Your grandson, was it grandson? I hope it said grandson. Newest grandson, yes, is going to absolutely love that. It's absolutely beautiful. Thanks, Michelle. And Jody Moriarty, how are you, friend? She says, for Christmas brunch, we usually do a breakfast casserole that my dad calls pig souffle. We also do a hash brown casserole that is a knockoff from Cracker Barrel. I love that one too. And we usually do that with ham. I won't do the hash brown casserole with a turkey, but I will do it if we have a ham. Yummy and cheesy and good. Here's my progress on a scrappy Christmas trips quilt. I don't have any Christmas quilts that need to be remedied ASAP. Merry Christmas from Indianapolis. So she's got, oh, yay. That's going to be a heck of a Christmas quilt. We're going to biggie this just a second. Oh, and I just got a coupon from Chili's. Come right over the photo. So here are her Christmas scrappy trip around the world blocks. That is going to be phenomenal. So if you have a bunch of red and green and neutral scraps, she's even pushed it what looks like into pink there. Some aquas, all of those fun Christmas fabrics. Scrappy trips would be a great way to go. It would be quick and fast and easy and fun, and you'll love having it out next Christmas. Beautiful job, Jody. Okay, so where am I? I'm still pressing, and I'm still making piles of dog ears. Christmas movies. Do you have something that you have to watch every year at Christmas? At our house, it's always Home Alone, the first one, and White Christmas, which has already been watched this year, so we can cross that off of our list. And Holiday Inn, which is a black and white Bob Hope, Gene Kelly movie. Absolutely love it. Yes, I love that it's black and white. Yes, we quote lines from that movie all year long. I'm Linda Mason. Oh, Linda Mason. If you want to know what that's about, you need to watch Holiday Inn this Christmas. But drop me a line or write it in the comments what your favorite holiday movie is, because we're looking for some things to watch this year, since some of them are already done. One of the newer ones, can I say newer? It's probably more than 10 years old. But the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, where they have to go get the doll because he promised it to his kid, but he was so busy with work and whatever, he didn't get his first kid. And him and the postman have to go, they're fighting over finding this one action figure. I always liked that one. But let me know what you like to watch. It might end up on my playlist this year. Okay, this is, you guys are kind of fun to talk to while I have to do this really boring trim the dog ears and press job. It's not so bad if you just do it. But never, never, never wait until there are 400 bonus triangles to trim them and press them. It's just no fun. Do it in small batches. You'll be glad you did. Okay. So this is buzzing on me. Paula Joe says, UFOs. The above is my 2-year-old sister's choice blocks found while unpacking from my recent move. Oh, these look great, Paula Joe. So she's got her blocks. See, will that open up? Nope, it's just going to stay at the top of her text. Or nope, there it goes. Okay. So sister's choice blocks there. They're ready to set together. So that shouldn't take much time to finish those up, and it could be your first completion for 2018. Can you believe it? 2018. Those are gorgeous. Merry Christmas, Paula Joe. Stephen! He says, we have several inside and out made by Mary Jane Cobble in Estacada, Oregon. Love these. Merry Christmas to you. Oh my goodness. He sent pictures of his barn blocks. So here's a kind of a bear paw variation. Love that. And that looks like it's on an outside wall. I think I see a roof there. Beautiful. And here's another one. Come on, open up. Slow Wi-Fi. Okay, this one's on an inside wall. Isn't that just beautiful? So maybe there's a block that you're absolutely in love with, but you really don't want to make it into a whole quilt. Big size it. Get it painted. Hang it on your wall. Call it done. I love this, Stephen. Merry Christmas to you and Dave. Okay, Barbara says, so sad watching your No, this doesn't say so sad. It says Quilt-Cam. Watching your Quilt-Cam while I am sliver trimming clue number 3. Merry Christmas from Minnesota. The Minnesotans are out in full force. Trimming half chevrons. Wonderful, wonderful. So somebody said so sad. Oh, Holiday Inn. Yeah, she agrees. Holiday, Fred Astaire and Bing Crosby. That's Mom Stockton agrees. You gotta watch that one. If you haven't watched that one, my favorite scene, watch for the canned peaches. Beware the canned peaches. I'm just going to tell you that much. Sue Morris says, need to quilt this for my sister. I love it. Sometimes I miss my sister, it says, and it's the witch feet from The Wizard of Oz. I love it, Sister Witches. The purple stripe is awesome. And Jean Fletcher says, Christmas movies, hard to find, but Donovan's Reef with John Wayne. The Three Godfathers with John Wayne. I sense a theme. With Stepmom with Susan Sarandon and Julia Roberts, and Quilts, Little Women with Katharine Hepburn. Just a few. That sounds great. I would love that. I would absolutely love that. So we are winding down here today. I've still got the last of the mail order to finish. See, that's a really kind of a curvy seam. I think that you're just going to be a bad. This one has to be resewn. The seam goes, and there's no way to trim that unless I bend it this way. Maybe, I don't know. It's that bias thing. Can I fix that? Oh, hey, that's not too shabby. Just a smidge. All right. So the last of the orders go out today. No more orders will leave the Quiltville store after what we pulled this morning. So anybody who's placed an order during Quilt-Cam, that will be shipped after Christmas, closer to New Year's, because I have to leave for that dentist appointment like within the hour, and I'm not packed for the cabin yet. We will have our mystery clue going live on Friday, and next Monday, because it's Monday and it's Christmas, we're going to hold off. We're not going to do any more Mystery Monday link ups until the Monday following because of all of the holiday hubbub and whatever. So just stay tuned for the next one after this one. So the one that's running right now, we'll just, maybe whatever, if I could do, this is me thinking on camera, if I could just extend the dates that this one is open, or no, it's going to be too busy. We'll do it later. Just be watching for that. But this one is open until tomorrow night at midnight, North Carolina time, so you can still get some photos uploaded. You can write your own blog post. You can link to your Instagram or your Flickr or even Pinterest. Just follow the directions on how to do that. Okay, so no sewing happened on Quilt-Cam ever, but we did get quite a few triangles trimmed, and we had a good chat while doing it. And I will soon be making these little purple Dakota Farmer blocks. These are all pressed and ready. So I want to thank you for helping me get started. I've probably got close to 2 blocks worth here. You want to help me do these too? Yeah, that many. Okay. So what can I tell you now besides wish everyone, those who are just finishing up Hanukkah, I hope that your season was joyous. I hope you were surrounded by lots of love and family and light, and are looking forward to a wonderful 2018 together. For those of us just going into the Christmas crazies, breathe. The quilts will wait. Spend time with your family. For me, the best memories come from the family time together and the food as it was being cooked and the time around the dinner table while we were eating it. Anything else is gravy, icing on the cake. So even the presents in the opening of the packages is not as important as the in-person time. And that starts for me this afternoon. I'll be checking up with you through the next several days. I'll still be around for social media. I'll show you pictures of what I'm working on. Continue to share with me. Post what you're working on to our Open Studio group on Facebook. And I'm going to get teary-eyed. So watch out. Keep an eye open for those who, I hate to say less fortunate because we're all fortunate in our own ways, but for those who might be lonely or just needing a little nudge into having a happier Christmas, And this is Bonnie breaks out into song because we need a little Christmas right this very minute. Candles at the window, carols at the spinet. Yes, we need a little Christmas. I can't remember the words. Okay, everybody, we need a little Christmas now. Okay, have a wonderful Christmas. I'll be checking up with you. I'm looking forward to clue number 5 on Friday. I love you all. Have a wonderful holiday season. We'll catch you soon. Bye-bye.